And hello, everyone. You know what day it is. You know what time it is. The Men's College Baseball World Series. And today we are simulating it on MVP Baseball '06 NCAA Baseball. And now you can see for the Oral Roberts ad, I added ISU, Indiana State, back to the mix. And in terms of the teams, hyper competitive. They may not be facing off against each other. Like right now, Oral Roberts and TCU are facing off against each other. So my bad on that, wrong teams. So first and foremost, the first game of the day was Stanford and Wake Forest on this game, where they win 7-5 over Stanford. Then the second game, you have a rivalry between Tennessee and LSU in the first round. Tennessee wins that one fair and square, 9-0, making LSU and Stanford in the elimination round. Now this is the one I found the most shocking. Florida and Indiana State. After a slow start, there's a slower start, but then all of a sudden, Indiana State shocks the world yet again and beats the Florida Gators 2-1 in making their statement known that, hey, we belong in Omaha. In the second game, you got TCU and Virginia won in a close matchup 4-3 over TCU. So now we get into the second round of play, and that is Wake Forest and Tennessee. Game started off hot for the Tennessee Volunteers, and it ends hot with a 9-4 victory over Wake Forest, which leads them into the elimination round. The second round, as I mentioned before, LSU and Stanford would be facing off against each other, and Stanford seemed to have the odds going into the day. But LSU capitalized on this opportunity to make their statement known in Omaha that they're the best team with the 7-4 victory. Now we move on to an anticipated matchup. The upset Cinderella versus Virginia. Yet again, like Furman in the NCAA tournament, will it happen again? Nope. It will not happen again. Virginia upsets Indiana State. And, of course, VU has a really good squad as well. And like Indiana State, they're good too. Florida faced off against TCU. And in this matchup, they won in a very close shootout, a 9-8 victory for the Florida Gators. As we advance onward to the elimination round, LSU beats Wake Forest 5-4 to advance and move on. And then in the other elimination game, it's do or die time for the Sycamores of Indiana State up against Florida, and they lose. So Indiana State will pack their bags and head back to Terre Haute, Indiana. Now for the semifinals. You got the Tennessee Volunteers and the LSU Tigers in another rematch, but this one was a big classic. But at the end of the day, Tennessee would later beat their arch rivals. And then in the Virginia-Florida game, which will be occurring tonight, the Florida Gators won 3-2. But yet we have to go to one more day because the series was tied, and Virginia absolutely smokes Florida out of the water with a 14-0 victory, which makes us go into the College World Series final with Tennessee and Virginia for the national championship. And Tennessee would end up winning the first game 10-2 over Virginia, and to win the national championship, Rocky Top is coming back home and winning the title. Tennessee of Rocky Top sweeps in a 2-0 sweep, and of course the Volunteers are your national champs.